Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Captain Termansen, and I am the spokesperson for the Chairman of the Military Committee. Welcome to the joint press conference following the first Military Committee in Chiefs of Defence session of 2015 with the Chairman of the Military Committee, General Bartels, Supreme Allied Commander Europe, General Breedlove, and Supreme Allied Commander Transformation, General Paloméros. Before we start, I'd like to draw your attention to the event page for the meeting, which can be found by clicking on the MCCS logo on the NATO front webpage. On the event page contains the opening remarks, pictures, and will also have transcripts of this press conference in due time. Now, the brief introductory remarks by the generals will be followed by a Q&A session, and that will last for about 15 minutes or so. General Bartels.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And let me start this press conference by giving you an overview of the first NATO Chief of Defence meeting in 2015. It was next month's Defence Ministerial meeting fast approaching, and with important changes to security environment after the events of 2014, this gathering has allowed for frank discussions and produced clear and constructive military advice to the North Atlantic Council and direction and guidance for the strategic commands. During our session on situation awareness, the recent terrorist attacks and the mounting transnational and multidimensional threats across the Middle East and North African region were discussed, as well as the situation in Ukraine and Russia. We are fighting terror in many different ways, and by using the combined strengths and expertise of the allies, NATO is playing its role in countering terrorism. Our session with partner nation Ukraine had to be postponed due to the evolving events in the east of Ukraine, which required the attention of General Mushenko. I look forward to meeting the General in May at our next Military Committee in Chief of Defence session. Our work with Ukraine is ongoing, and we are moving forward with the 5 trust funds and looking for further areas for military-to-military cooperation. Concerning the situation in Ukraine, it is clear that Russia has to stop supporting the separatists and respect international law. A candid exchange of views on the implementation of the Comprehensive Readiness Action Plan was held in yesterday's afternoon session. One of the components is the VJTF with its interim solution under an enhanced NATO response force. The Chief of Defence agreed and endorsed a number of measures that will be reviewed at the Defence Ministers' meeting, but let me take this moment to stress and underline a few things. The VJTF is a joint task force, which means it will be comprised of land, air, sea, and Special Operation Forces components, which includes several thousand troops as well as appropriate command and control, and has to deal with a full range of threats. I am confident, after discussions held yesterday and today, that we will be able to meet the political ambitions and requirements. To maintain the full range of capabilities necessary to deter and defend against any threat to the safety and security of our populations and adapt our posture after the summit in Wales, NATO needs to continue to invest in our security, in our defence, in order to retain capable forces at high readiness in the air, on land and at sea in order to meet current and future challenges. We met with our Mediterranean partner nations who we are working closest with to improve their defence capabilities and increase their ability to operate together so they are better able to meet the security challenges in their own region. Because if our neighbours are more stable, we will be more secure. Moving on to the session on Afghanistan, the NATO Chief of Defence reviewed the first 3 weeks of resolute support, which brings 42 nations together to train, advise and assist the Afghan National Security Forces and their ministries. we reflected on the way forward and the need for flexibility in the early stages of the mission. Many challenges remain, but our commitment to Afghanistan is clear: to assist the Afghan security forces and institutions develop the processes and mechanisms they need to become sustainable in the long term. In conclusion, I, as chairman of the Military Committee, believe we had a constructive and fruitful exchange of ideas and opinions, and I will now send a letter containing the consolidated military advice over to the political level for further consideration. And now I will hand the floor first to General Breedlove and then to General Paloméros, who will give you an update on operational and transformation issues, respectively. Phil.
Thank you, Chairman. We're just over 3 weeks into the new year, and already quite a bit has happened across and around our alliance. Most poignantly, of course, we experienced inside our borders the brutal terrorist attack in Paris, which was a heinous attack on the freedom of expression and a core value for NATO and all of us. We spoke over these past 2 days about the importance of our allies sharing information about the transit of foreign fighters and the utility of having the structures in place to quickly communicate with one another about this or any other threat. We also discussed the repercussions on the alliance, especially on those members of the South, of instability in Northern Africa and the Middle East. Violence has intensified and changed character in Ukraine, which punctuated our discussions on the implementation of the Readiness Action Plan that was agreed to at the Wales Summit. I'm confident that our proposals to meet the RAP tasking are robust and they are effective. They are designed to address a range of conventional and unconventional threats from all directions, not just the East, from state and non-state actors, and to deter Article 5 threats or to conduct a range of non-Article 5 crisis response options. We also discussed how our assurance measures will continue through 2015, with robust activity in the air, on the land, and in the maritime environment. Additionally, we further sharpened our way forward for the Very High Readiness Joint Task Force and discussed how the interim VJTF will provide a test bed to practice and validate the concepts and procedures until our first full VJTF is ready. We have, as you know, also begun the Resolute Support Mission in Afghanistan. I visited there 2 weeks ago, and I'm very pleased with the progress there, both at the headquarters and with the units in the field. As always, there are challenges to face, but based on what we've seen, there is good cause to be optimistic about the way ahead there. So the security situation continues to validate the value of this great alliance and underscores the importance of implementing the decisions of the Wales Summit, which I believe is going very well. 2015 will be and is a critical year as we work to bring about the greatest change in our approach to collective defense since NATO's inception. And we are doing it deliberatively and correctly so that our responsiveness will be effective, sustainable, and enduring to best prepare the alliance for the security challenges of today, as well as those security challenges on the horizon.
In the line of the NATO Wales Summit and this Chief Defense Conference reaffirmed clearly the need for a very dynamic transformation for NATO. And we have no alternative but to push together all strands of effort, because we have to face so many challenges and so many threats which are manifesting themselves almost on a day-to-day basis. To summarize the 3 strands on which transformation we are moving, our transformation, to achieve a better readiness and interoperability for our forces, we have first and foremost, as it was stressed, to adapt our posture, and this is the aim of the Readiness Action Plan, to meet better the 3 core tasks of NATO: collective defense, crisis management, and security, cooperative security. Secondly, we have to keep on developing credible and affordable, I would say, capabilities. And that was part of the discussion today, how to frame the future political guidance to make sure that we can achieve this balance of capabilities which is required to face the multifaceted environment and to fill the shortfalls which were identified. And third, but not least, we have to reinvest in our people through training, education, and exercises. And this is exactly what we do. We have dramatically increased the number of strategic and tactical exercises in 2014. We are looking for even more coordinated synergy in exercise and training through NATO in 2015. And we will have a clear demonstration of NATO will and capability through the major Trident Juncture 15 exercise starting in September. Thank you.